Well, once again, Marvel are going to label their characters up, put as many labels on them as possible, because it matters for some reason. But Loki is confirmed as gender fluid in Disney Plus featurette. Will Lady Loki show up? So yeah, now Loki's gender fluid. For some reason. It wasn't in the start of the formerly known as the MCU. He was never shown as gender fluid then. As Loki's premiere date draws closer, we've been getting some juicy featurette and behind the scenes footage about the anticipated show. The latest promo offered eagle-eyed viewers a specific detail that finally brings in a character and ability not seen in the MCU yet, the MCU, which it's now called. We have already seen that Loki has the ability to disguise himself as other people. However, we have never seen him shapeshift into someone of the opposite sex. Well, clearly he can. He's a shapeshifter. That's what shapeshifting means. That appears to be changing as the TVA's folder lists Loki's sex as fluid. In a blink and you'll miss it. Detail. Fluid. Yeah, but it's not really, is it? He's a shapeshifter. So he still is a fucking man. He's a shapeshifter. He's not actually changing his sex, is he? This is just not an exciting addition of explicit alphabet representation in the MCU. In the MCU. This is all but confirms the addition of Lady Loki in the show. And she'll just be better than the Loki man. She'll be better in every way. And then if Loki comes back as what he already looks like, he'll be a terrible person. And then Lady Loki, she'll have to come back and take over because she's just better in every way. To get you caught up, Lady Loki is essentially no different from the Loki we've come to know and love. Well, it will be. Although she does have one major difference, and that is she was created after the god inhabited a human body previously meant for the spirit of Lady Sif. Loki was able to take over this body, using it in recent years to do what he does best, trick and manipulate. In the 2019 novel Loki, Where Mischief Lives by author Mackenzie Lee, Loki's gender fluidity and pansexuality, I always forget what that fucking means. So many of these fucking words, I don't know how you're meant to know what they are. So his gender fluidity and pansexuality were confirmed as canon. Disney canon. At least in the current comic timeline. And who the fuck's buying them? It looks like it might become canon in the MCU as well. No matter how Loki's gender fluidity is introduced into the show, it is an element of his character that is quite welcome. Well, people couldn't really give a fuck less of his gender fluidity, even though he's a shapeshifter. Given how integral Lady Loki has become to Loki's character in newer comic arcs that nobody's bought, her possible appearance is exciting. But this certainly gets you hyped for the show, doesn't it? Yeah, they've definitely gone into cuckoo land. I'm honestly starting to think that they're never going to change this shit. They'll just keep going and going until there's no money left. Because now we've got to make a big deal about, oh, he's changed into a woman, therefore he's gender fluid. I mean, if he turned into a fucking potato, would we say, oh, he's a potato? No. And this obviously comes on the back of Kevin Feige promising the MCU's future will be increasingly diverse. And it makes sense for the studio to use Loki as a gender fluid character. Not only does this fit with the original Norse mythology, I don't think it actually said gender fluid in Norse mythology. It is also entirely comic book accurate, and it raises some exciting possibilities for the Loki TV series. Doesn't make it exciting whatsoever. What's that got to do with what's going to happen in the show? It's got nothing to do with what the show's going to be. So that makes it better because now he's gender fluid and bisexual and pansexual. That makes it better. Because we know when they do changes, they have to lead with that. It's easier to do then, isn't it? Just well, it's just hard for women, isn't it? This means Loki could include different incarnations of the trickster god, ranging from Lady Loki to Kid Loki. The TVA's note seems to suggest all those possibilities should be considered on the table. The interesting question, of course, is whether these different variants of Loki will collide in a multiversal adventure. Oh, you know, it'll probably... The man, Tom Hiddleston, he'll be in, like, the first episode, and then he'll change into a woman, and then it will be just this woman that's amazing at everything. That's probably... They've got to reel you in on the first episode, so you think, oh, well, it's going to be Loki anyway. So, and then they go, nah, you're getting a woman. Because we don't know how to write women. We just go, here's a woman, like her, or you're sexist. But yeah, apparently because he's gender fluid, it makes the show exciting. It just makes me think all you're going to do is use the show for your virtue signalling. But if they are in fact leading with the fact that he's gender fluid and all that, the show's going to fail from the start. The only show that I've watched the Marvel TV shows so far is WandaVision. That was it. That was decent up until the end, really. I never watched Captain America or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier with their race baity bollocks. It's like, see, as soon as I know stuff like that, it's like, well, I'm not going to fucking watch it then. I'm not going to sit and watch utter bollocks on TV. I'll tell you what I do. I'll go back to, like, the 2000s and shit like that. But yeah, so Loki's gender fluid. Bisexual, pansexual. He's labelled up. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on that for now. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.